Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is Brandon Chastang, aka B McFly, and we have the lovely lady Zarinah Lomax.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm well, I'm excited. I'm big where I got started at, so this is exciting. Started here 7 years ago. So this is amazing to be out here and to really just share about what I do.
Okay, so what is the name of your program?
Okay.
Your organization, and where are we?
So we're outside of Philly Cam. A lot of people don't realize how amazing this place is. It's a hidden gem. They do TV and radio here. The name of my organization is the Epilogues, but I got started in media and still in media. My show now is called the Zarinah Lomax Show, but it used to be called Talking the Walk. Bringing people to share on forms of trauma, and of course one of the traumas in our city is gun violence, and this is where I did my first interview.
Wow, wow. So now that we're on that, man, gun violence, right? What started you? How did you start?
Share it easily.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, March 18, 2018, Dominique Kamani Oguski was murdered on 52nd and Market. I did my first interview here with her mother, who is one of my best friends. Dominique is actually like a little sister to me.
Okay.
And that's basically how I got started in gun violence. I was already in media, bringing on different forms of trauma. And our bias, we kind of talk within what we know. And unfortunately, that became my story, and I began bringing the families here, bringing the parents on, and share their stories on my talk show. That's how we got started.
Wow, so with your personal experience, knowing the person, you started bringing other families on your talk show.
And the first interview was her mother, 3 months after Dominique was murdered. So that was very hard, but that was my first interview.
Wow, man. Do you remember how many parents or family members you brought on the show?
In between doing the epilogues, which the epilogue is where we actually commemorate slain gun violence victims through fashion, music, and art, and that was actually because of this. A lot of people don't like talking in front of the camera. We didn't want them to feel lost. Probably almost 200.
200?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Now, how long have you been doing this?
Since Dominique was murdered.
What year was that?
March 18, 2018. So since 2018, my first interview was with her mother. 3 months after. 3 months later, we started the Epilogue, which was the art exhibit. We sold out, no marketing, and I knew I was on to something. It was standing room only in that place. You could have heard the pin drop. It was amazing.
Wow. So you interviewed so many families that suffer from gun violence. What else are you doing in the community? What else does your program do in the, to help people in the community based around gun violence?
So the Epilogues basically was completely centered around them. The reason why, again, is because I didn't want people to feel lost. You know, when the cameras stop and when all of the text messages stop, they kind of feel lost. So we started doing that, and in the midst of it, in 2019, we made it on A Good Day Philadelphia. And we did the show again, but I realized I didn't have a healing component. I was just telling stories, which unfortunately as journalists or people again in our bias, we think we're helping by telling a story. You can tell all the stories in the world, but it don't mean nothing. So now what I'm doing to help them is I'm creating the Epilogue Center, and we're actually about to fundraise for that. The reason why I'm doing that is because we're now taking the stories that's in our communities, that's destroying our communities, making that into an interactive art museum, but accompanying it with art therapy and mental health resources. So now, when you come in here and you think you're just coming for an experience, you will, but that experience is going to lead you down a road that'll help you to heal, whatever way you decide to do that. So instead of just leaving them, we'll have everything set up to either help them on site, or we'll be able to push you to an actual person that will be able to do that. So I know that's going to help them, because I always hear, I feel forgotten.
Right.
We're the victims. There's a lot of death benefits, but there's no benefits to help people to heal and to live. You get 5 free therapy sessions through work, and then that's it. They don't want to go to work. They don't even want to get out of bed. So you have to meet them where they are, and this is what we're going to be doing. And are doing now.
That's amazing. Let me give you a hand clap.
Thank you. I'm so excited for this.
Because you're right. A lot of people feel like, what about me?
What about me?
You know, this person that killed so-and-so in my family may have got 15 years, may have got 20 years, may have got life. But it's a proven fact that I lost a loved one for life. And I'm going to need healing forever. So I commend you on that.
Thank you. Also keep in mind, too, is that there's a lot more people that survive gun violence than die from it. So I want to get to those people, because we had 600 murders last year, but how many people did we have survive? It's probably like 2,000 shooters.
Right.
Where are they? How are we helping them? Because they're still victimized. So yeah, that's the focus.
And that's deep too, because a lot of people that's like, I got shot before, and I just left it alone, and I normalized that trauma. Exactly. So you are right about that. When you look at Philadelphia, right? And you say, yo, this is what Philadelphia looked like to me. I want the best. When I say the best for Philadelphia, this is what it looked like. What do you envision? What's your envision of Philadelphia?
Unified. It is very divided here in the artistic world. I think the reason why I use the arts is because we're known to be an artistic city, but it's competitive. We're known to be a city that's communal, but it's competitive. But I would see is just unifying all of those different aspects into one cohort. It doesn't have to be mine, and letting everybody do what they do best, but together. When people start to feel that they belong and that you actually care about them, and this is not something like a survival city compared to a city that, what is it, the city of brotherly love, all of that untreated trauma and all of that would be okay because they would feel like they have a space to be able to share, that they would be accepted, and then you will help to walk them through it and empower them to do the exact same thing that you're doing. So to me, everybody that's doing what they're doing and reaching back, all the people that experience it, let them know that, like you talked about how you experienced getting shot, but you took that and now you're actually out in the community and you're helping people. That's what I mean. Taking and going back and letting them know that the trauma was just a part of the story, helping them to figure that out and walking them through with all of the gifts that we've been given. So I would see it that way.
Where you from?
South Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah.
On the playground. No,
that's West Philly. That's West Philly. No.
No, South Philly though.
South Philly?
Yeah.
Wow, man. And there's a lot of community activists. It's a lot of community leaders that come from the South Philly base. Who are some of the people that you've worked with?
Some of the people I work with, South Philly wise, would be Moms Bonded by Grief, Victoria from the Dante Wiley Foundation. Even Anton, I gotta give him his respect from Unity to Community. Of course, you, T from No Gun Zone, Tahira, what is it, Voices by Choices, I work with them. Philadelphia Obituary Project, Jen, we're actually about to put together an art cohort. Jen was, actually, she reached out to me when Dominique was murdered, so we've been rocking for a long time. She would send me people, and Miss Movita, absolutely always accepted me in. Jamal Johnson, absolutely amazing. Arande. I'm bringing all the grassroots people.
Right.
These are the people
sure
that they,
more,
There's a lot more people that I work with, but I really want to name them. Mecca from Forget Me Not. Absolutely work with them because these are the people that have been standing there with me when I didn't have nothing. Bought tickets, stood out there, never ever. If I said I wanted to fly a kite about gun violence, they was like, how are we shooting that kite? Like, this is the people you got to be around. So, yeah, it's been an amazing time.
That's good, man. You work with a lot of people.
I have.
So the summer's approaching.
It is.
And, man, we're going to need all the help. What do you have plans for the summer? Or who are you possibly working with?
So right now, I'm actually just partnering with Jen from the Obituary Project. We're putting together an art cohort where we're going to actually do written, we're going to do drama, and we're also going to do art and spoken word. We're putting together an art cohort to be able to help people to, again, take their trauma and utilize the art. That's one. One of the people that I'll probably be working with is AC Walls for Justice. They're down at Cherry Street Pier. I am hosting a fundraiser there in August to start to raise money for my building because unfortunately, like you know, it's competitive. So you got to get this money yourself. But I know that we have a lot of support and we'll be doing that. We actually have Serenity Day, which we're a part of. That's kind of going into the summer. And then I'm working on a documentary about the uprising and the killings of women because Dominique was murdered. And there are a lot of women that are being murdered in Philadelphia, but also a lot of women that cause a lot of people to be murdered because they set people up.
You bought a picture of Dominique, right?
I did.
Can we see it?
Yes. Wait, let me get it. Okay.
Yes, man, we got him.
This is an old picture. Listen, I bought this. Let me tell y'all why I bought this one. This was the first picture I was out there with. I still do the Zarinah Lomax show. And I would be out there with Moms Bonded by Grief standing to these families. This is old, but this is how long I've been doing it. It's rugged. This tell you we were standing out in many protests and show her that she did this photo shoot right before she was murdered.
Wow.
So in my first show, I actually dressed Dominique up in this, not Dominique, I actually dressed someone up as Dominique in my first show and they walked out in this outfit. And I'll never forget her mother's face because it looked just like her. Wow. So this is how we take art and we utilize their story and we just give it back to you.
Wow, man, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. I commend you. I think, we have normalized death so much. It's like, oh, somebody died, somebody got shot. Oh, well. And then coming from a woman's perspective, because just a lot of black men are dying in Philadelphia, but black women are dying too.
Women are dying
from gun violence.
And that's a problem because, let me shout out also FNC Philly and Purple Queen, because I'm on there radio-wise and also FNC Philly. They're my fiscal sponsor, believed in me from the first meeting, didn't take me through, so I appreciate them. But people don't realize how this, back in the day, if you saw a woman go by, you stop, or a child. They shooting the kids, they shooting the cats. It'll bounce off of you. They don't care now. That's
Right.
the problem, because that just tells you the ignorance and how there has to be something going on where you don't even respect the very person that brought you here. We birth y'all. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying, but we do. It's
Yeah,
a
that's a
wisdom
fact.
with women, and there's a lack of respect there. So something has to be talked about with that. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for everything that you have done.
Thank
you
you.
for
I appreciate you recognizing
collaborating with people.
Mhm. Oh, as I plant the seed.
As I plant the seed
Yep,
too.
they out there.
Thank you for collaborating with
Yep.
people. You know, it's sad that we use our trauma. We got to use our trauma to help other people heal, but that's just a part of life, right? Is there anything that you want to say, man, that we didn't say? Is it something that you want to get out? Like, just spill it, man.
Being a survivor is absolutely okay. A lot of times when people lose people, or when you have been through something, you feel like it's not okay for you to live anymore. It's almost like this guilt and shame, they're not here. Or if I start to tap into those moments, that means that I forgot. You don't. That's one part of our journey. Like, losing Dominique was just a day in her life, but it wasn't the life that she lived.
Right.
When you got shot, it was one day in life, it wasn't the life that you lived. I
Right.
really want people to know that being a survivor is absolutely okay, and defining it off of your journey. Don't let nobody rush your journey, but absolutely allow yourself to survive, especially these parents. It doesn't mean that you forget your kids. It's actually keeping their legacy alive, because if they was here, they would want you to go outside and talk about them. If we're not out here and you're not representing them, how can we remember who they are and not to let them be forgotten? They're not numbers. Normalizing people is okay as well. If you are artistic, I don't care if you do something similar to what I'm doing. Show that these people were real and give their stories. I can't do it by myself. You can't do it by yourself. There's only so many stories we can tell. Tell the story. Somebody needs to hear it. If you didn't share your story, I didn't share our story, we would have never met.
Absolutely.
That's how we met. So it's a lot of people that you're supposed to get to, but you have to share, and you have to be okay with what your story is, and just live it out loud. Live your story out loud. It's the best thing you could do.
Y'all live it out loud.
Yes.
So with that mean, it's a wrap, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you more. Let's go.